where we live, or what language we speak, a smile has the incredible power to heal. Everyone smiles in the same language, and that is what brings us all together. Namaste, delegates, on behalf of the G20 Interfaith Forum, in collaboration with MIT World Peace University and the Interfaith Alliance for Safer Communities. I, your host, Piyush Motwani, welcome you to this magnificent Mahatma Gandhi Hall. Can we have a big round of applause, please? The G20 Interfaith Forum, launched in 2014 during Australia's G20 presidency, brings together diverse religious communities to influence global agendas. By uniting visionary leaders, it seeks innovative solutions, fosters dialogue, and inspires positive change. This summit, held in Pune, India, at the World Peace Dome, is a crucial opportunity to promote global peace and holistic development, considering religious perspectives for a more inclusive, peaceful, and sustainable world. This forum will offer a platform for leaders, representatives of various organizations, government officials, and the civil society to come together to share experiences and provide added emphasis to suggestions identified throughout the year in preparation for the G20 summit that is being held in New Delhi shortly after the G20 Interfaith Forum concludes. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Peace Bell. This remarkable symbol symbolizes our shared commitment to global harmony, unity, and the pursuit of peace. May we have the honor of welcoming our esteemed dignitaries who will join us in the symbolic act of ringing this bell. First of all, can we have a round of applause for all our delegates sitting here, please? May I request all our dignitaries, our delegates, to kindly come forward in the ringing of the World Peace Bell. Ladies and gentlemen, our delegates for today are Dr. S.N. Pathan, Her Excellency Mrs. Victoria Samuel Aru, Shri Adik Kadam, Mr. Lenin Raghuvanshi, Mrs. Shruti Nagvanshi, and Professor Dr. D.K. Verma. Can we have a round of applause for them, please? I request all of you to kindly step forward for ringing of the World Peace Bell. Can we also have with us Dr. Shubhalakshmi Joshi, Associate Dean, School of Computer Science. Along with him, Mr. Braden Walter, G20 Commission Director. Can we give them a big round of applause, please? And as we ring the bell, let its sound remind us of the unity and peace that connects us all. A round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, delegates. I request you all to kindly take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request our session coordinator, Professor Dr. Irfan Syed, Associate Professor, MIT School of Computer Science, to kindly come forward and extend his words of welcome.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished leaders and esteemed delegates. I am Dr. Said, coordinator for this session today, session 2A for G20 Interfaith Summit. I am deeply honored to stand before you today as we convene for the G20 Interfaith Summit, focusing our collective wisdom and faith-driven compassion on imperative theme of vulnerable communities, leaving no one behind. This gathering embodies transcendent power of faith, spirituality to inspire hope and drive positive change in the world. In a time when our global community faces unprecedented challenge and convergence of faith, and reason is more crucial than ever. The essence of faith, irrespective of creed or tradition, beckons us to care for the most vulnerable among us, to ensure that there is voices heard, their dignity upheld, and their well-being safeguarded. Vulnerable communities, leaving no one behind, is not merely a theme. It is a sacred commitment that resonates with the every core of our faiths. In every holy scripture, across all the religions, we find teachings that call us to extend a helping hand to those in need, to be the voice for voiceless, and to embrace the most marginalized members of our human family. The challenges faced by vulnerable communities are numerous and complex. Poverty, hunger, discrimination, displacement, and the impacts of climate change are but a few of many burdens they shoulder. It is our shared moral duty to respond with compassion, empathy, transcending borders and barriers to uplift those who need it most. During this summit, we have an extraordinary opportunity to draw from the spiritual wellsprings of our faiths to find common grounds, foster understanding, and unite in action. Together, we can craft solutions that are inclusive, equitable, sustainable, striving to ensure that no one is left behind on this arduous journey towards a bright future. Our discussions here are not confined to realm the policy, they are infused with the wisdom of generations, the depth of our convictions, and the resilience of the human spirit. Let us remember that the true measures of our success will be seen not in statistics or reports, but in lives we touch and the communities we transform through our collective efforts. As we embark on this sacred journey of interfaith dialogue and cooperation, let us be guided by the universal values of love, compassion, justice, solidarity. Together we can manifest the spirit of leaving no one behind in every corner of our shared planet. And in doing so, we can illuminate the path to the world where vulnerability is met with empathy and no one is left behind. Thank you all for your dedication to this vital cause, and I look forward to the profound insights, transformative actions that will emerge from our discussions during this G20 Interfaith Summit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, we're all looking forward to what holds ahead in this session. Ladies and gentlemen, in a world characterized by its diversity, our vulnerable communities embody the strength, resilience, and the untapped potential of humanity. It is our solemn duty to forge a compassionate and inclusive world where no one is left behind regardless of their circumstances or background. As we embark on this endeavor, let us do so with open hearts and minds, committed to bridging gaps that divide us and working hand in hand across all boundaries. Together, we can build a society that values, safeguards, and empowers its most vulnerable members, ensuring that every individual has the opportunity to flourish and contribute to the betterment of our global community. Having said that, may I now request my technical team to kindly relay the curtain raiser film.
This session is based on vulnerable communities. The core mission of religious and interreligious communities is to focus sharply on vulnerable communities affected by humanitarian crises and others. Many vulnerable communities also must be included in the system. Not leaving behind anyone requires concrete efforts from faith leaders the government, media, and other stakeholders. Religious groups have an important role to play in challenging stigmatization of these groups. One effective practice is to focus first on women's empowerment, whereby other groups that are left behind will also benefit. This session will be based on the condition of vulnerable communities around the world.
Thank you so much, and I think all of us can give it a round of applause. Moving on to the introduction of our esteemed speakers, may I request our session coordinators, Dr. Irfan Syed, Dr. Mahendra Suryavanshi, and Dr. Basant Tiwari, Associate Professors, MIT School of Computer Science, to kindly come forward and do the honors for felicitation.
Since we have a very senior person here, Dr. S.N. Pathan, sir, we ask you, sir, please do the felicitation of our guests who are here today. So this is our kind request to you, sir. Please give them the round of applause. Dr. S.N. Pathan is a very senior person and currently advisor to senior CRAD, sir, and he is holding a lot of responsibilities in MIT World Peace University. So we are, sir, requesting you to do this honor for us. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, go ahead.
Dr. S.N. Pathan. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Dr. S.N. Pathan, an accomplished academic and administrator in Maharashtra, India. From a humble village background, he excelled academically, earning a PhD in ecophysiology from Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Dr. Pathan's career extended beyond academics. He served as the Director of Higher Education for Maharashtra, guiding over 1,000 colleges. He later became the first Vice-Chancellor from the Muslim community at Rashrasant Tukadoji Maharaj Nagpur University. His contributions to education have earned him several awards, making his journey a true inspiration. Stay tuned for our conversation with this remarkable scholar and leader. A round of applause for Dr. S.N. Pathan.
We will firstly felicitate Dr. S.N. Pathan, sir. I request Dr. Shubhalakshmi Joshi, ma'am, who is the Associate Dean for Faculty Affairs, please come onto the stage and felicitate Dr. S.N. Pathan, sir. Please. Pathan, sir, please come forward. Big round of applause for Pathan, sir. Now, I request you both, please be standing over here to felicitate other guests. Professor Shubhalakshmi Joshi, ma'am, please be here with us. Thank you. Continue, please.
We also have with us Shri Adhik Kadam, founder, Borderless World Foundation Maharashtra Bhushan, and a social worker. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to introduce Mr. Adhik Kadam, a remarkable figure in the world of social entrepreneurship and philanthropy. His story is one of unwavering commitment to making a difference in the lives of those affected by conflict, particularly in Jammu and Kashmir. He co-founded the Borderless World Foundation, an NGO that focuses on aiding disadvantaged individuals in India's bordered areas, particularly orphans, especially girls. Despite facing significant challenges, including personal risks, he has continued his humanitarian work, earning a recognition and awards for his outstanding contributions to society. Stay tuned for an inspiring conversation with a true change maker. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Can we give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Our next speaker, Mr. Lenin Raghuvanshi, founder, People's Vigilance Committee on Human Rights, the PVCHR. He is a well-known social activist from India. He's famous for co-founding the People's Vigilance Committee on Human Rights in Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. He fights against issues like bonded labor, child labor, and violence against women and children. His dedication to helping survivors of human rights makes him special. Under his leadership, he uses innovative methods to support these survivors like counseling and legal assistance. He's won many awards, including the prestigious Guanggu Human Rights Award. His tireless work is making a big difference in the world, shining a light on the struggles in marginalized communities and fighting for their rights and dignity. Stay tuned for an inspiring conversation. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Can we have a big round of applause for him, please? And yes, we can keep those hands going for him, please. Thank you, sir. We also have with us Ms. Shruti Nagvanshi, Indian Dalit rights activist, political thinker, and social entrepreneur. She is a dedicated activist for women's and children's rights in India, especially for marginalized communities like the Dalit caste and rural women. She is a key figure, serving as one of the founders of the People's Vigilance Committee on Human Rights and also founding the Savitribai Phule Mahila Panchayat, a women's forum. Her impactful work goes beyond her roles, including her involvement in projects empowering minority groups. In 1996, she co-founded the PVCHR alongside Dr. Lenin Raghuvanshi and other remarkable individuals. Her dedication to ensuring that the voices of the marginalized are heard and their rights protected has earned her numerous accolades and awards, including the prestigious Guangzhou Human Rights Award. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Stay tuned for an inspiring conversation ahead. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. We also have with us Professor Dr. D.K. Verma, Director, Research, Extension and Training, Dean School of ATP, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Professor Dr. D.K. Verma, a distinguished academic leader at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Sciences, with significant roles such as Director of Research and Dean of the School of Social Sciences. He has a rich administrative background. Dr. Verma's expertise spans multiple fields, from sociology to environmental science and gender studies. He is a prolific author, mentor, and actively contributes to shaping education policy. His current projects focus on sustainable development and tribal communities, reflecting his commitment to academia and social justice. Stay tuned for our discussion with this accomplished scholar and leader. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Can we have a round of applause for him, please? Thank you so much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have with us Her Excellency Mrs. Victoria Samuel Aru, Ambassador, Republic of South Sudan. Can we give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you for gracing the occasion with your presence. We are honored to have you here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have Her Excellency Miss Esther Karema Mutua, Assistant Director, Ministry of Education, Kenya, Education Attaché, New Delhi. Let's give her a round of applause, please. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We can't wait to hear from you. Let's keep those hands going, please. Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now request our session coordinator, Professor Dr. Irfan Syed, sir, to kindly take over the panel discussion.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful felicitation time with us. And now I would like to call our chief moderator, Dr. S.N. Pathan, sir, to come on the dais and come on the stage and speak his words and start this discussion. And let this discussion be open for everyone. Please, sir.
Distinguished speakers of the session, delegates for G20 conference, representatives from various countries, and my friends. I'm extremely happy today that very distinguished experts who are intellectual as well as who are working on the ground for the human rights, and the delegates from various countries are participating in this session, and no doubt this session is very, very important, and that is the vulnerable communities. And the purpose of this session is we have to take them with us and we should not keep them behind. My friends, I will just start my this presentation. I won't call it as a presentation, but before I must tell you that India is a great country. And I always say that I am proud Indian. Because in India sometimes it is said, please don't take the word sometimes, that Muslims in India belonging to minorities are also vulnerable community who feel insecure. I myself belong to the Muslim faith, but I got all the opportunities in this great country that I became the director of higher education of government of Maharashtra for 6 years, which is supposed to be the only senior position in the state. And you know that Maharashtra is at the forefront in higher education in the country. So where is vulnerability in my case? My friends, I got the opportunity to become the Vice Chancellor of a very important university of Central India, that is Nagpur University, Nagpur. And I worked there for 5 years. And I was also the Vice President of Indian Council for Cultural Relations, which is the international body of the government of India working in the world as how the India can be work as a soft power in the world and make or spread our ancient culture to the different parts of the world. So my friends, this great country has proved that we are definitely trying to take the vulnerable community with us and we don't want to leave them behind. But still I want to go some ancient period and I want to give you certain, say the glimpses of this, that India is having a strength in the world because of its multi-religious country. It is a multi-ethnic, multi-language. And almost all the religions of the world, they live peacefully in India, since many years. And these are certain, no doubt, there are certain reasons, but I will not go in detail because Srimad Bhagavad Gita said that the soul of the human being, Atma, is one. And there is no any discrimination on the basis of the caste, creed, and religion. And this is the same message of Vedanta also. But unfortunately, due to many reasons, we will not go in detail. And if any distinguished member can or you can ask, then sometimes I will answer. That because of these religious traditions, this country was divided into, unfortunately, into different castes. Even though the God has not created any human being as a upper caste person, a upper person, and the lower person. All are the children of the God. God is one. The theory of Islam says the same thing, that the God has created you from one male and one female. And so we are all brothers on this planet Earth and sisters of each other. But due to some unfortunate traditions and many reasons, these certain people were actually they are kept behind and not given the major rights. And that the very famous example, you know, that is Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. That is a very Hindu person. He converted into Buddhism. And you know that is the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar was not allowed to enter into the Sri Ram temple at Nashik for 5 times. But see the importance of the Indian culture. Today, not any person belonging to scheduled caste, he may be poor or he may be rich, he is allowed to go in a temple, not only to go in a temple, but suppose he wants to perform the puja, he is allowed. So this is the strength of Indian culture. And this Indian culture has taken the vulnerable community like scheduled caste. I know that some scheduled tribes are still discriminated. And that is, I feel, that is the only our motto of this G20. And we have to make such resolutions. And we have to go to the root cause. Now I can tell you one example. In India, there are certain tribes. By professionally, they are actually doing a very unhumanitarian work. Say, for example, Fasupardi people. Fasupardi is a tribe. They are living in the valleys and mountains. They are very, very backward. These are very backward communities. Even some Gonds in Vidarbhas. They sometimes misguided to become Naxalites. The main job of this Fasupardi is to kill the human being. They murder, and their total survival is upon those people who kill them. But when the root cause are actually searched or investigated, it is found that their children, they do not have any education. They never come to the people. And therefore some social worker, I am very happy that social workers are here. Now just I can take one example, which is in Pune, and you can go and see. Mr. Girish Prabhune, who went to the hills and mountains of this tribal area and brought this Fasupardi, keep any vulnerable community behind. Just I have given you the example of this Fasupardi community. You know that is the Savitribai Phule. And I am very happy that this, our Raghuvanshi madam from Varanasi, Banaras, and she is doing the work by the name of Savitribai Phule, whose, whose actually workplace, who started her work here in Pune. So this is great thing. And when there was not permission to the women or to the girls to go to the school, or I will not go in detail for the problems, issues in those days. But Savitribai Phule started the first school, which was supported by the Muslim lady Fatima B. And now you can see the 50% ladies, and they are sometimes are on the higher position than the men. And I sometimes dream that a time will come in India, there will be Mahila Raj, because today Rashtrapati is Mahila, may come Prime Minister and this President and all Chief Ministers Mahila, because they have got that power and that capacity. They are very sincere. It is said in the Pavitra Quran that God has created specially to women. There is one adhyay known as An-Nisa, which describes the importance of women. They are not only in burqas and hijab, which is unnecessarily made an issue sometimes in our country also. So my friends, और बोलना है क्या 5 मिनट हो गए ना 3 मिनट बोलना. So these just I am giving some examples. Still there are certain issues. I know that. Say for example, I will request to any expert to focus in detail, because he said that only 3 minutes are left for me also, even though I am coordinator. I will not take any advantage. HIV affected people. They are also coming under the vulnerable communities. We don't touch HIV person. And so there is a need actually. It should be the outcome of this G20 that I was so impressed that Mr. Kadam started orphanage schools in Kashmir. And he is from Ahmednagar district. We come from the same district. And he went to Kashmir, Ladakh, and started the schools. And sir, he was actually kidnapped by this extremist. How many times? 19 times he was kidnapped in Kashmir by extremists. Still, he is with us, but unfortunately his hand is actually... Now see, this is the great people, they are there. So, there are some issues. I will just take a name. I will just name those. Transgender people. There are the issue of transgender people who are neither the male or female. We have to take them with us and for the nation development. Sexually abused, say the people or the women, girls. Because when these girls or women are raped sometimes, they feel very, very insecure. So they need to work on this issue also. And as I told you that there are certain communities which are doing, professionally they are doing that work. Right from the beginning. Like say for Berad in Maharashtra, Chandal. I gave example of Hasubardi. So we have to go to the root cause of these people, why they are doing like this. And government has to take certain schemes, concrete schemes, to bring them into mainstream and with us, and so that we will not keep anything behind us and will make a full use of these people for the development of the nation. My friend, the new problems are coming like climate change. And lastly, I will say, yes, I will. Because just it is my introduction. Because only 5 minutes. I have taken 3 minutes more. Okay. So I will stop here. But my friends, I am really very, very happy that we are very happy that you have invited such a great persons actually for these sessions who are actually working in that field. So we are very eager to listen them. myself is also very eager. So I will stop here and I will just say that my friends, India is trying its level best to take these people with us. Because Indian culture is not a specific compartmental culture, watertight culture. It is always evolved. Every day it is evolved. Indian civilization is every day evolved. Good things are taken, bad things are thrown out. This is the peculiarity of Indian culture. And therefore it is said that India will be Vishwa Guru. And my friends, at the end, Professor Vishwanath Karad has done a lot of work for this. I must mention 1 minute. In his village, when he has built up Sri Ram temple in his village, Rameshwar, Rui district, Latur, at the same time, he renovated Dargah of Muslim people. He renovated mosque. He constructed Buddha Vihar for SC people. And he developed such a beautiful Sri Ram Rahim Manavta Setu, such a great living example. That is the living prophet, as one person said today. Professor Karad is doing the great work to take this vulnerable community with us for the nation development, to bring this nation development. And therefore, in this session, it is our spirit that Karad Sahib is doing this work. And this session outcome, some outcome will come, that it will be the great, help to the G20 conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pathan sir. It was wonderful hearing you. I myself is the example of a Muslim community. I come from the hills, basically from Kashmir. I shifted here, and there are two ladies sitting in this row, Ms. Sheetal and Dr. Rajeshwari Khande. They have feeded me for a year. They served me lunch every day for a continuous year. So that is what India is for. That is what India is. Very beautiful country. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to call on the stage Ms. Victoria Samuel, Ambassador, Republic of South Sudan, to enlighten us with her words.
Okay, I will make it because my time come here. Yeah, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra State, Vice Chancellor of MIT University, Honorable Rahul Kat, Executive President, Prof. Norupama, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar. I'm honored and privileged today. Okay. I'm honored and privileged this afternoon to be part of this important event, the G20 Interfaith Summit 2023. And I would like to thank and appreciate the organizing committee for inviting me to this event. Today, on this significant gathering, we are all here to enrich and extend our hands together to foster unity and share our views on the problem faced by the women in present time and tackle this problem by the unification of the global women leadership. As the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are a set of 17 goals, of which the greater and perfect one of our agenda is SDG 5, which is a gender equality that aims to grant women and girls equal rights, opportunity to live free without any discrimination, including workplace discrimination or any violence. Our agenda faces a lot of discrimination, even in this generation of technical advancement and socioeconomic. In both private and public sphere, women face occupational segregation and lack of access to financial resources and technology, as well as gender-based violence due to cultural mindset and stereotypes. In a political scenario, the gender equality requires not just men and women to have equal seats in the parliament, but what's needed is that women should have equal access to position and can subsequently participate in decision-making equal basis. Even today, many communities and societies have the mindset of putting the woman in the lower position of societal hierarchy, To tackle all these problems, we women should come forward and break these barriers and stereotypes in our societal thinking in the field of finance, healthcare, education, and world of politics. Women empowerment is very important for women to have a self-worth of the right and to have a determination of choices and to have a right of access to opportunities, the right of resources, and the right of power control of their own lives within and outside the home in their ability to influence the directions. As a woman, I feel the most important issue we face our equality and the respect and position we deserve in the society, of which we are also the equal part. The lost hope we have in the society is the lack of education provided to women, which bring hindrance in the progress of women, which can be seen in the statistic of the position held by women in all the governments or political offices. I would like to advocate the issues of children too, where we can see that majority of children around the globe are met with the condition of malnutrition, lack of education provided, and most major issue is the sexual exploitation. In the recent days, we have been witnessing the rise and development of technology and science, which has helped mankind reach ultimate goals, but at the time has brought us very low to understand the composition of our religious faith. I would like to address this problem as challenges we all face in generation and society, which can be capped and solved by requirement participation of all people in power to help make it a better place for all to live. Likewise, the religious heads and groups to play a better role in solving the problems, or I would like to address them as a challenge facing handle initiative collaboration effort to all. The most important of all issues is the lack of education that needs to be provided to all those deprived in order to make and strengthen the society. Help them to able understand all the problem better and also help them making society better. The one of the most intervention solution, also food security, that need to be provided along with the proper effective healthcare system around the globe to send society a message of the safe world. I urge all people in the power and who have the capacity to contribute towards all the causes come forward and help the society that we thrive in. As you know, South Sudan is the youngest country, and we are fighting the child marriage, and the campaign has been launched. Child marriage has negative consequences for children, including health problems and low education rates for South Sudanese girls. Many initiatives have been taken to combat child marriage in South Sudan, but the presence of the societal norms and instability continue to drive the presence in the country. Many bills are on the way to be passed in the parliament, such as anti-gender violence space, empowerment of women, and Bill of Family Laws to enhance the rights of the girls and the women. At last, I would like to thank Prof. Nerupama and all who organizing committee for inviting me to this important event, Interfaith Summit, and I would like to meet in the future event possibly. Thank you very much. I will be going. Yeah, I will give you a couple.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for enlightening us. Now, I would like to call on the stage Ms. Esther Karima Mutua, Assistant Director, Minister of Education, Kenya. Please come on the stage and deliver your session.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good afternoon. Thank you very much, the organizers of this event, the organizers of the G20, the interfaith domain of it, and thank you very much, the entire management of MIT University. This is a good opportunity for us to meet and talk about the disadvantaged communities or individuals. When we talk of women empowerment, we are not saying that we give undue advantage. We are saying we give equal opportunities for women to be able to thrive and grow in a way that they can participate meaningfully in the society. Women empowerment is not only for the women, but for the society. A community grows from the labor ward where a child is born all the way to becoming an adult and to becoming the leaders that we are in. In the labor ward, we have the woman. The woman needs some empowerment. Empowerment is to expose her, give her the knowledge. Knowledge, we say, it's power. It's a good tool. And when you give her the knowledge, that knowledge is able to nurture those that are under their care in the society. Now, when we talk of education being a tool for empowerment, we usually know that education is an enabler to any development in the society. Starting from political, all the way to the political office, going to economical, all the way to billionaires. They don't just become billionaires out of nowhere. They have got some prior knowledge on how to go about it, on how to grow what makes them billionaires. All the way to the social. How do we live with others? All the way to the physical. How do we interact with the environment to maximize the use of it? Now, we are living in the 21st century. The 21st century is too demanding in technical know-how. And we are saying, as we are saying, in the 21st century, we need the 21st century skills. Those skills also are necessary in women so that they are able to live comfortably in this very ever-changing, dynamic world. Education for girls should really help them. How do it really help the girls or the women in general? We are saying that when a girl is in school, she has the time to gain the knowledge. She also has the time to grow. That period, we know the disadvantaged families, disadvantaged societies. We find girls getting married at 14, 15 years. Those are children. We've seen families where children are the heads of families. Why? Because they never had the time to be in school. They were never busy in school. They found themselves in the situation that they are in. One, it helps in mitigating early marriages. That's what I'm saying. Also, when you empower a girl, a woman, you are giving her the knowledge to be able to give birth to children whom they can take care of. They are able to understand the needs of those young children that they grow. Remember, an empowered society will always be led by the lady. We usually say, for example, any successful man, there is what? There is a woman behind. Is it? Why are we not giving them that opportunity, really? Why are we not nurturing? Why are we not making them realize their potentials to maximize in pushing that man to achieve that bigger thing we talk about. We are not creating an equality by empowering a girl or a woman. We are saying give them equal opportunities, and then they grow in it because they have the capacity, the interest, and the talent to be so. Thank you very much, and have a good evening.
Thank you very much, ma'am, and thank you for coming up with the grave issues currently in our societies. Now, I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Adik Kadam, a wonderful social worker. Please take over the stage, sir.
Hello. Honorable Chairman G20 Interfaith Summit, Dr. S.N. Pathan sir, and distinguished friends, praying to my masters. It is really a great privilege for me to have been provided with the opportunity to share with this august gathering the experiences of the work being done by our organization, foundation, group in United UTs of Jammu, Kashmir and Ladakh over the period of last 26 years. In this G20 summit, we are sharing our views based on our experiences on shaping world peace and sustainable development through interfaith summit harmony in different parts of the planet. Faith, as we all know, is something that every human being gets initiated into by birth rather than by choice. As a child grows, he is exposed to rituals of the particular faith instead of the philosophy of the faith, which, when analyzed, is no different than enshrined in the scriptures followed in other faiths. The performance of the rituals as prescribed and followed in different faiths has resulted in compartmentalization of the humans as a species. All of us are born humans only. As one species, we are no different. Every faith teaches the importance of living life with utmost dedication to the basic doctrine of living in peace and harmony, not only with the fellow human beings, but with the entire creation, starting with one's own self. Life runs according to the fundamental laws of nature. We do not need concept to run life. Within the fundamental laws, we are supposed to live in harmony with ourselves and with all that which sustains us. However, the disharmony in our thoughts and actions of an individual being brings our disharmony in the entire surroundings. Disharmony results in divisions on the basis of faith amongst people of different faith and intra-faith divisions on the basis of caste, creed, color, occupation, etc. Faith, however, has been used as a tool to divide the human being specially created by nature to help her maintain and sustain the planet. Unfortunately, the faith has been exploited to fight in the name of faith only. Those who want us to be ruled up on as insignificant and lesser humans have succeeded in dividing us on the basis of faith and within the faith too under different categories and subcategories. The divisions, whether interfaith or intrafaith, have been and continue to be created and used as a political fodder for sustaining the political power and rule in the very name of the religion. And in the process, individuals, groups, and communities become vulnerable to the fallout of the hate and violence due to such divisions created amongst faith and groups. Before I dwell on the topic of vulnerable communities given to me, I would like to give a brief account of the person standing before you. I am Adik Kadam, born in Srigonda in a humble family in Hindu faith. I grew up in the ambience of Warkari who believe in humanity and have been living in harmony with their brethren of other faiths for centuries. It is an order in which the faith of members of different communities does not divide them but harmoniously unite them as one community. I belong to village known as Kosegaon in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra. Ahmednagar has the unique distinction. We all know about Shirdi, I hope mostly in India, Shirdi ke Sai Baba. Having grown up in the harmonious interfaith ambience of the area, the idea of being any different from my brethren of other faiths did not strike me. The place has been the abode of great saints and Sufis who served the cause of humanity during their lifetime on the planet and continue to shower their blessings to the devotees who have under faith in them. Irrespective of their religious background, the shrines and temples of these great saints and sages are a vivid example of interfaith harmony. In the year 1995, basically, I'm working in Jammu and Kashmir. I'm basically from Maharashtra. And since last 26 years, I'm basically working for the children who lost parents in terrorism and violence. I visited as a student of political science, first time in J&K, and in 97 I went there actually, and I found there are few different scenes, because there is a Hindu community, there is a Muslim community. I'm basically from Warkari community, and in my family, no one taught me that I'm a Hindu actually, but they only taught me that I'm a Warkari and I should only develop devotion, bhakti. That is what my parents basically taught me. But when I first time visited Kashmir, that time I came to know that there are a community who is calling me a non-Muslim, non-Kashmiri, as a Hindu. They're calling me. So that time I came to know that I'm a Hindu. Otherwise, I was not taught. My parents never basically, given such lessons that who am I. Only they only taught me a devotion. So when I visited Kashmir, I decided actually, because at that time, the militancy terrorism was on peak, and in 97, I'm still talking about 97, because, say 14-year boy or 15-year-old boy, they're, holding bombs, Fidaini, and they are basically going in a camps, and, and they're just blowing up. So this situation was very, very difficult, and it disturbed me a lot. And after seeing the situation, I decided, okay, God wants me to be here, because God wants me, He given me some situation. He given me that situation. He created that situation to make me understand that, okay, this is the situation of this area. These are the people who are basically suffering from some situation, and what you will do. So I decided not to let down my God. So I just taken this path that I will stay in Kashmir and work for the community. So during this, Patan sir rightly said that, many times, militants, terrorists, the groups basically, they hold me, they taken me. But again, when they came to know that I'm basically working for because of, like working for the children, orphans, widows. So they came, one of the terrorists basically, he told me that, oh, you are basically, aap khuda ke bande ho, you are God's, child actually, and you're working for the community. Aapko jo marega wo sacha Musalman nahi hoga. So this is the word basically coming from, that person who is basically, we call something nonsense, terrorist, militant, whatever it is. But see, basically somewhere I able to cultivate that faith in the person, that, he can also start, thinking about, about good. And this is where basically I'm coming from. This message is not my message. I'm standing and I'm representing the masters of the Himalayas. I'm working, no doubt I'm working for the community, but again, it's a Himalaya, so lot of Peer, Fakir, Sufi, Sadhu, Sannyasi, and these are the masters basically. Once, I think about in 2016, there was a massive, very, situation, difficult situation. One boy basically, terrorist called Burhan Wani, he died, and after that, many, pallet to control the crowd because of stone pelting. Government has to basically as a father, as a mother, because this nature is just not because of one actually. It's a mother and father, male and female energy, and we have to basically work together. So here my family basically taught me that there is only two different communities. That is a male and that is one is a female. And there is no other community actually. There is only two genders. And here only I feel that mostly women are vulnerable, and we have to basically work from them. That is what I'm doing in Jammu and Kashmir, working for the girl children who lost parents in violence and terrorism. And we want basically we want to bring them back to the community. Now they are doctors, they are engineers, they are working in the government, and they're going back to the community and basically serving the community. And that is the basically message I'm basically, I'm done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was the real time experience because I have experienced all this. I have gone through all this. So thank you so much for bringing this to us, sir. Again, now I would like to call upon the stage Mr. Lenin Raghuvanshi, founder, People's Vigilance Committee on Human Rights, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh, India.
Good afternoon. Namaskar. Sat Shri Akal. Namo Buddhaya. Mahadev. So it's a very plural and to wake up all of you. Actually, why I'm making this way because my family, my grandfather was freedom fighter and Gandhian. My father is communist. And my mother is Sanatani women and also my grandmother, little conservative Sanatani, traditional women. So there is a pluralism and diversity inside our family. And for that reason, my name is Lenin Raghuvanshi, and my son name is Kabir Karunik, because the Kabir is the name where we are going to discuss, and Karunik is the name of Buddha. Most important thing, if you understand, if you want to any treatment, you need to be diagnosed. Because I studied in Ayurveda, modern medicine and surgery. Due to my mind of science, we need to be diagnosed. And in this way, but for me, diagnosis is very important. We need ruthless, open diagnosis, but treatment is always in the non-violent of the Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, where I'm going to discuss about that. Because the most important thing Kofi Annan told, there is a lot of international regulation and standard, but nothing more are happening on the grassroots level. So Shruti is going to talk about as earthworms, how to fertilize the land for the universal values and working for the Musars and all. But the most important thing is look in the South Asia, hegemonic masculinity of the mind of caste and patriarchy are the biggest problem because they are giving a militaristic traditions of the conflicts. And that not only creates the problem to our society, to our constitutions till today, also our religions. You look in the Islam, Rasul provided the Paake Quran, where they describe ilm, education is so important. And he also gave another doctrine, is a Medina constitution, which is the first constitution of the diversity and pluralism in the world. But if you look what happened, what Malala faced, only for the education. This only came not by religion, but coming from the hegemonic masculinity of mind of the caste and the patriarchy in this part. Very clear. And as an upper caste man, because I'm a converted from upper caste man, devils to the human, so I know many things very well. So we are not going to discuss about that, that everybody is aware in their lifetime. But most important thing, this hegemonic masculinity creating culture of silence with the impunity. And what happened? India developed in 70 years. We gave affirmative actions, a lot of resilience among our slaves. Because this hegemonic masculinity, you need to understand Veda and Upanishad, there is no caste system. There is a Varna system, division of work. They talk about Purushuk, but in the Vedas, also Lokai talk about Lok Ayat. Ayat means everybody is equal. So there is a true culture created by Brahmins, both culture. One is the Shaman culture, culture of inclusiveness and the diversity and the pluralism. And second is the Brahmanism, is the mind of caste and patriarchy. Both by Brahmins. Before the Chandogya Upanishad, there is no Punarjanam. But in the Chandogya Upanishad, Punarjanam came because my caste, my community, Kshatriyas, want to use all privileges of the mind of caste and patriarchy. And in that way, they influence one section of our priest. So that is very important. And it is an old fight. You look the fight of the Daksha Prajapati and the Mahadev. Why Kashi is a very plural? Why Hitler want to own the Weimar? Why Varanasi is so important? Because the Varanasi is the center of the diversity and pluralism. Mahadev fought against Dutch Prajapati. Dutch Prajapati insulted our mother Parvati. And you know the whole story. And for that reason, the whole philosophy of Mahadev is a candor, fakkarpan. Means everybody is equals. Everybody needs to be participate into that. And for that reason, Buddha gave first sermon in Banaras. Sri Tirthankar of Jain religion and founder of Jain religion born in Banaras. Before the establishment of the Khalsa and the Sikh religion as the part of Shraman culture in our country, Guru Nanak came and understand what is happening in Banaras. Kabir, Senai, Raidas. And for that reason, your girl from the Maharashtra, born in my city, Rani Lakshmi Bai, and she fought in the freedom struggles. And what she did? She eliminated the death penalty that time. So that is the most important thing to understand what I am to emphasize. There is also Shraman culture. We have the cognitive weaknesses. We have cognitive strength also. But our cognitive weaknesses also making a relations with the neoliberal policies, because they also want to culture of silence and impunity. Gandhi says, whole world is enough for everyone's need, but not for one person's greed. So that is very important. So our work, what we did, we learned from my grandmother and grandfather, empathy, compassion. And it is very, very spiritual. Very spiritual thing. I'm a democratic Sanatani guy, Sanatan Democrat guy, like a Christian Democrats. And and in this way, I'm not supporting the abstract secularism. I'm supporting the contextual secularism in the world. France is facing nowadays abstract secularism. You know that. There's a lot of debate and discussion on that. But the most important thing here, share and care and empathy, not sympathy, is very, very important. And that, if you have, then you are going, what Shruti is going to describe after that, knowledge, attitudes, and practice. You learn from them, and also you change. Give the knowledge to them, change your attitudes. And for that, Paulo Ferro told, upper exploiter community have no powers to make a reform. I reform not myself, only the help of the women and the Dalits in my society. So that is very, very important. And in the last slogan, when you are going to fight against caste system, not the upper caste people. You are going to fight against patriarchy, but not against the man. You are going to fight against communalism and fascism, but not against the religion and dharmas and madhab. That is very, very important. And we know that we are the old civilization. अगर हम नहाएंगे नहीं, पानी रुक जाएगा, गंदा हो जाएगा. So it is important to clean. Reform is science. Reform is reality. Reform is a way of life. Otherwise, nothing going to happen. And we need to understand what is the bad things we need to eliminate. Like when we clean our houses, तो हर चीज नहीं फेंक देते, गेहूं पूरा नहीं काट देते, घास निकालते हैं. So in that way, we need to create the India. It is a pregnancy time, only mother to understand. Many things are changing in very positive way. I will tell you, many conflict resolution are happening in this part of the world. People like us also talking with the Mohan Bhagwat ji and all. So in this way, things are changing. We are talking with the upper caste, they are also changing. So within the 15 and 16 years, 60 years, very different India, which is the real India, which is going to promote not only Vasudha Kutumbakam, also the Shastrarth in the globe.
Thank you so much, Lenin sir. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Now I would like to call upon the stage Madam Shruti Nagavanshi, again founder, People's Vigilance Committee on Human Rights, Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Please, ma'am.
नमस्कार. मैं हिंदी में ही अपनी बात रख पाऊंगी, तो जो नहीं समझ पाएंगे उनके लिए क्षमा प्रार्थी. बट फिर भी बात कहाँ से शुरू करें, क्योंकि लेनिन जी ने कहा कि जो हम लोगों का मुसहर का काम है उसके बारे में बात रखूँगी, पर बात मैं यहाँ से शुरू करना चाहती हूँ कि जो इतने दिनों में उनके साथ कामकाज का अनुभव मिला और उससे जो एक समझदारी जो आप फील कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि थ्योरी में आप बहुत कुछ पढ़ते हैं अपने एजुकेशन के समय में, पर वो चीज़ें उस तरीके से हम ग्रैप्स नहीं कर पाते जब तक कि हम उसको प्रैक्टिकल में ना करें। और वो चीज़ हम लोगों को अपने 30 सालों के काम में समझ में आया कि यदि हम लोग मोस्ट मार्जिनलाइज्ड कम्युनिटी को छोड़ देते हैं, अपने साथ 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 लेके नहीं चलते, उनका भी डेवलपमेंट नहीं करते, तो हम खुद पीछे रह जाते हैं। हमारा सोसाइटी, हमारा कंट्री पीछे रह जाता है और गरीबी, अशिक्षा, भूख और कुपोषण से लगातार जूझता रहता है। हम बात करेंगे उत्तर प्रदेश में 23 करोड़ की जो आबादी है उसमें से केवल 2.5 लाख की जो पॉपुलेशन है मुसहर कम्युनिटी के बीच में हम लोगों का काम है, जो कि हम लोगों के समझ से मोस्ट मार्जिनलाइज्ड कम्युनिटी हम उसको देख पाते हैं। है वो एससी कास्ट में, लेकिन उसके साथ व्यवहार बिल्कुल शेड्यूल ट्राइब की तरह होता है और उसका जीवन भी और व्यवहार भी कुछ जंगल के आधार के ऊपर ही, उनकी चीज़ों के आधार के ऊपर ही उसका जीवन था। जंगल धीरे धीरे जब कट गए तो वो मैदानी क्षेत्र में आए और वहाँ उनको उस तरीके से कामकाज और वो स्वीकार्यता नहीं मिली। हम ये बता पाएंगे कि अगर उनके बच्चे आँख खोलते हैं तो अपने ग्रैंडफादर, ग्रैंडमदर को, न केवल फादर मदर को बल्कि ग्रैंडफादर, ग्रैंडमदर को भी, थोड़ा ऊपर वहाँ हो जाइए, ग्रैंडफादर और ग्रैंडमदर को भी, मेरे पर प्रेशर हो रहा था, सॉरी, को भी वो बंधुआपन की स्थिति में देखते हैं। तो जब हम अपने बड़ों को, अपने एल्डर्स को बंधुआपन की स्थिति में देखते हैं तो कितना भी हम स्कूल चले जाएं, अमूमन वो बच्चे स्कूल नहीं जाते क्योंकि उन बच्चों को स्कूल में उस तरीके से स्वीकार नहीं किया जाता। उनको हमेशा बैक बेंच पे बिठाया जाता है। अगर वो पढ़ने की जिद करके कोशिश भी करें तो तमाम डिस्क्रिमिनेटरी बिहेवियर करके उनको एक तरीके से स्कूल के बाहर ही ढकेल दिया जाता है। पर मैं बात कर रही थी कि यदि हम अपने बड़ों को बंधुआपन की स्थिति में देखते हैं तो कभी भी बच्चों के अंदर भी वो आशा, उम्मीद, वो रिस्पेक्ट खुद के लिए, वो आत्मविश्वास कभी भी पैदा नहीं हो सकता। और यही स्थिति कमोवेश इन मुसहर परिवारों की भी हम लोग ने देखी है, जहाँ पे डिलीवरी के पहले तक औरतों को काम पे जाना पड़ता क्योंकि उनके पास कोई ना अनाज की बचत होती है, ना पैसों की बचत होती है कि वो अपने लिए कुछ कर पाएँ। वापस जब डिलीवरी हो जाती है उसके दूसरे दिन माताओं को काम पे जाना पड़ता है, अपने बच्चों को घर में किसी के ऊपर भी छोड़ के, सिबलिंग्स के ऊपर या घर के दूसरे लोगों के ऊपर छोड़ के। तो आप इन चीज़ों से उन स्थितियों को समझ सकते हैं कि जो एक वंचित समुदाय है उसकी स्थिति किस तरीके की होती होगी। और इस कम्युनिटी के बीच में काम करके जब हम लोग ने उनके जीवन को बदलने की कोशिश की है और महिलाएं, लड़कियां वहाँ पे खड़ी हुई हैं, तमाम जो उनके बीच में IMR, MMR, CMR का इशू है, जहाँ पे वो जब इतनी कठिन परिस्थितियों में अपना जीवन यापन करेंगी तो वो हमारे SDG गोल को एक चैलेंज दे रहे हैं बार बार। डेटा में भले वो चीज़ें उस तरीके से शेयर न कर पाती हो गवर्नमेंट, क्योंकि जो हमारे सर्विस प्रोवाइडर हैं वो कभी भी उनके बीच में उस तरीके से नहीं जा पाते, वो हमेशा उनसे एक दूरी बना के रखते हैं क्योंकि वो उनको बदबू करते हैं। तो इस गैप्स को हम लोग ने दूर करने की कोशिश की है और बहुत कुछ सीखा। उस गैप्स को दूर करके, दोनों को इकट्ठा करके उनके जीवन में जो परिवर्तन लाया उससे खुद में भी एक कॉन्फिडेंस, उनके जीवन में तो बदलाव आया ही आया, खुद में भी एक बदलाव और कॉन्फिडेंस देख पा रहे हैं, जिसकी बात कर रहे थे कि लेनिन जी की मोस्ट मार्जिनलाइज्ड कम्युनिटी ही हम मुख्य धारा में जो लोग हैं उनको बदल पाता है, वही उनको चेंज कर पाता है रियलिटी से और बहुत सारी चीज़ों से। तो हम लोग जो उनके बीच में काम करके आशा और उम्मीद देख रहे हैं, उम्मीद की किरण देख रहे हैं कि आज लड़कियां पढ़ने जा पा रही हैं, जहां चाइल्ड मैरिज का इशू अभी भी है, ऐसा नहीं कहेंगे कि पूरा समुदाय बदल गया है, पर हम कह सकते हैं कि हर शादी चाइल्ड मैरिज ही होती है। अगर मैं ये बात कह रही हूँ तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा प्रश्न चिन्ह है अपने आप में कि जहाँ लड़के की साइड से भी और लड़की के साइड से दोनों अवयस्क लोगों की शादी कर दिया जाता है। अब अगर ऐसी स्थिति में तमाम सारी चुनौतियाँ आगे के जीवन में और हमारे डेवलपमेंट में दिखाई देती है, तो इन चीज़ों को लगातार हम लोग बदलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और इसी बात के साथ कि ये बदलाव हो रहा है और ये बदलाव की बिल्कुल ज़रूरत है। अगर ये नहीं कर पाते हम लोग तो हम अपनी कंट्री को डेवलप नहीं कर पाएंगे। इसी नोट के साथ अपनी बात को यहीं पे रोकते हैं। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to call upon the stage Professor Dr. D.K. Verma, Director, Research, Extension and Training, Dean, School of ATP, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University of Social Science, Madhya Pradesh, India. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. Honorable Dais, distinguished participants assembled here. In this session, I would like to conceptualize my presentation under faith and trust that leave no one behind. And in this presentation, the important thing what from Bharat, from our country, we can give to the world with regard to all vulnerable communities. And you just check this. Okay. So, friends, I'm just coming to important solutions or recommendations that we can have to save our time. And my presentation is based on empirical evidences that I've collected in last 3 years, working on some 480 communities in India. Those are vulnerables and variously called as Shulkas, Shul tribes, other backward classes, including women. The important consideration before us when we have this Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam idea, why this vulnerability, next please, and who are these vulnerable communities and why they are being left behind. You can just move on the slides, please. So with these inequalities, why they are existing, let's have some empirical understanding, and that I would like correlate with the very short stories that very common. When once all villagers, they decided to pray for rain, and on the day of prayer, all people gathered, but only one person was carrying umbrella. That is, he was only having the faith in the prayer. Why it's happened so with the communities? Why the fruits of development are not reaching to these vulnerable communities? Let us get the idea from this story. Because faith and trust again I take another story that is very common one. When you throw a 1-year-old, your child, baby, the baby is very happy coming down, smiling, because he or she knows your father, you will protect her. And this is not happening with these vulnerable communities. So they are feeling, they are having no such faith. There is faith deficit. There is trust deficit with regard to policies, programs, and what are their actual needs. So let us understand how we can go with that. Next, please. Because it has become more vulnerable in terms of post-pandemic era that we could study. So when there is also important consideration how they are left behind. This is a very critical issue that we need to understand. And to me, these inequalities and world over, there are structures that are not inclusive. There are hierarchies, they are not inclusive. These policies and programs are not in terms of cooperative development, I would say. For sustainable development, I am extending this concept as cooperative sustainable development. This must be the participatory. Next, please. So how we can go with this kind of thing? Then let us have this cooperative development. In what way we can do it? So our education is not inclusive. Educational structures are not inclusive. The policy makers in the education system, they are not working on inclusive pattern. How and why? The important consideration is Indian education system is alien to this part of the world, what we call Bharat. Bharat never had education. Bharat always had Vidya. Vidya is a greater comprehensive one that includes education, a part of it. But values are also included, sanskars are also included. So if we take Vidya, then inclusiveness will be ensured. It is said a person who is having Vidya can never be unemployed, can never be criminal, can never be discriminatory. Why? Because that Vidya gives us the responsibility for the community as a whole. That Vidya gives us this responsibility to take care of all our fellow brothers. So that's very important. So until unless we make this faith deficit, trust deficit converted into Vidya concept of education, as in the first session it was rightly pointed out, the value education system is very important. But how we can change it? My humble suggestion in this session is, let us have Vidya all over the world. Let's transform education into Vidya. I cannot say the synonym of Vidya in English or other language, because Vidya itself is a very highly explained concept in our scriptures, and that is very comprehensive one. Vidya never favor the discriminatory hierarchical structures. It considers all fellow equal. We call Guru Bhai, whether one from a royal family or a poor family. There is no such distinction. So we must have such kind of understanding. Then second thing which I consider very important, you may go for the next, please. Next, please. Here we have to adopt the RISE concept that I am giving for you. We have to have the role with equity that we must ensure in the policies. So all global policies must rest on this kind of concept. When we have to give the role, it must be with the equity. That is the graded one, not in terms of inequality, but as per their particular needs, differential needs. The diversity is very important here. Then the identity with dignity. There must not be any discrimination of low and high, as it is existing in various systems also. In education systems, we say lower education, higher education, some kind of distinction we must dissolve with this kind of identity. Then the status with equality and existence with sustainability. That is very important. Vulnerable communities are very unfavorable in this, where their sustainability is not, their sustenance is itself is jeopardized in that way. Next, please. So this is based on a certain theoretical framework I have given, because what I am suggesting is not just the explanations from my empirical evidences, but is supporting some theories also. One theory is related with the theory of social devolution that I am talking, and methodology that we have to involve. Innovatively, we have to go for that, because when we want to include faith, when we want to invite spiritual religious leaders, they are very important and essential in our Vidya system. They must be an integrated part of it. For that, we need cooperative methodology, cooperative social action for that. And outcome will be, of course, the sustainable development. And if we follow this kind of model, then it is sure that faith and trust will be there and no will be left behind. Thank you very much for giving me this question.
Thank you very much, sir. With this session, we have concluded parallel discussion time slot. Now we are open to question answer sessions. I request you all, if you have questions, please throw your questions to our guests. Yes, please. Can Mahinder Suravanshi, sir, please provide the mic there.
Thank you so much, sir. First, I would like to thank all the panelists for this enriching discussion. My question is that we are already very much aware of different kinds of institutionalized religions and non-institutionalized religions. And we have also seen women, especially rural women, being subjected to ritualistic oppressions under many religions or under the name of religions in many spaces. How can we deal with this issue of gendered religion while still walking on the path of faith?
So is this question specific to anyone or all panel discussion?
All panelists.
All
Yes.
panelists.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you so much.
Very interesting. You look, religions came before
Sir, Mike, please.
very patriarchal system that time. But you look Mother Kali and her statue. Mother Kali has the all hates of the man, not the women. And she's telling with her philosophy, war is created by the men minds, need to be controlled, their hands and also their weapons. And when she become angry, and after that she become cool, Shiva put his ego on her feet. So man need to be put their egos on the feet of the women. It is also way of the faith base like me. Still I am 15% patriarchal human being, totally decast guy. But most important things, any woman is going to attack on me, I'm never going to attack because it's my faith as a praying from my childhood, my mother power.
Thank you so much. And I request you all to keep your questions very brief because we have only 5 minutes for question and answer session. Can we have next question, please?
Hello, just hold.
Oh.
And one more thing I just want to add.
Yes, yes, please, please.
Basically, see, I told that there is only two communities. One is the male and the female. Okay, so female is always, if we are talking about vulnerable community, then we have to basically talk about how to basically, strengthen our, mothers, I even don't call female actually, I call a mother because they are holding a mother energy, that is what he said actually. Yes, he said rightly that Kali and Shiva and all, even the Shivling itself basically male, female, it's a togetherness. So this is basically, we male need to basically understand this. Okay, if we learn actually that what our scriptures want to basically convey, then automatically the mother and female energy will be, sustained. They will be, bring some, great goodness to the world.
Thank you, sir.
Just to add a social science perspective in that, when John Money conceptualized gender, it was not to have any distinction between male and female. And when we talk about gender, usually it is important to consider that gender is not about being male and female. And it is well explained. I'm thankful to my colleagues there. And the Ardhanarishwar concept is basically for that only. And we have to dissolve this distinction. And I'm just differing with that concept of male and female community. It is the integration of these two make a unit, a viable unit in the society. So gender we have to see not in terms of women or men, or not in terms of only woman empowerment, but it is more male sensitization than woman empowerment also.
Yeah, so that's why basically I said that it's a Shivlinga. It's a oneness actually.
We have 2 minutes left. Any question? Pathan sir, if you would like to add something to it. In mic, please, sir.
What he has said, my colleague, that in Quran it is said that your heaven, Jannat, is under the feet of mother. And you see, you will not find Muslim old male or female in the old age home. See the result of this. This is the strength of the religion. That boy has not to teach. He knows that I have to take care of my mother. So this is the greatness. So actually, female has been given a lot of and great importance in Pavitra Quran.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Now, I guess we don't have any more questions. Yes, please. Last question we will be taking. We have 1 minute left with us.
Thank you so much for your wonderful comments. I really enjoyed it. And
Please, your name and background.
Yeah,
sir.
sure. My name is Aaron. I am a student from Brigham Young University, Hawaii. And as I'm from actually from New Delhi, so I've been born and raised in India, so I know how things work. So as we're talking about leaving no one behind, so as you have worked so much for all this, for these vulnerable communities, can you say now that we are very close to those days where we can say that we are actually not leaving anyone behind?
You are asking?
Yes, yes. I'm asking, do you guys think that we are close to those days? And if yes,
No,
why
I
do
will
you think that?
I will not dare to say like that. Still, we have to work. Still, we have to make much efforts, and still, so many tribes are actually they are behind. Still, the scheduled caste communities they are not getting the justice, and we have to make efforts. And I will not dare to say that our total this social system is inclusive, and we are using all of them for the nation development. We have to work hard, and that is the challenge before us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for this question. Now, we are ending this session, and I will hand over mic to Mr. Piyush to proceed it further. Only 15 minutes left with us, and goodbye from my side.
Thank you so much, delegates. Thank you, students. I think a fruitful discussion, and we've taken back a lot from what we've heard today. To end this session, may I now invite our session coordinator, Dr. Basant Tiwari, to extend his vote of thanks.
Good evening, all. Distinguished guests, speakers, and participants. I stand here today as a proud learner and grateful learner or participant to express my heartfelt thanks to all those who have made this event possible. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our guests and participants who have been our guiding lights, imparting wisdom and knowledge to us. Finally, I would like to thank each and every one of you, including my teammates and students, for your support and participation in making this event grand successful. Once again, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, delegates, for gracing the occasion with your presence. Your commitment inspires us all. Well, before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us for an enchanting cultural program under the Pandal starting at 6 p.m. Join us and be a part of this mesmerizing experience. Before I end, I would like to call on Dr. S.N. Patan, sir, to please kindly come forward and guide us as we end this session.
Friends, I am extremely happy that all our these delegates who are actually working in the Human Rights Commission and they are fighting. And see Mr. Kadam, a great social worker, and he's dared to work in Kashmir. So everybody spoke very well. They are happy that we are moving toward that thing, and we want to include. And what is expected also, the Vidya and the education. It's fact, and Professor Karar Sahib is always emphasizing on that, that there should be a value-based education. And that will, value-based education plus education, our formal, is Vidya. So there is a lot of hope from this young generation, and they are not believing in caste, creed, and religion, and they will definitely take this great country, India also, as well as world, and will save this earth planet from this discrimination because of the caste, creed, and religion, and ultimately there will be no any community or person will be as a vulnerable person, and the world is very happy, peaceful, and we are the workers for that things, and we are looking ahead for that. Thanks to G20 and all my distinguished speakers for making this session very, very successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for guiding us. May I now request all our delegates to kindly step forward for a commemorative photograph. Team Shutterbugs, it's all yours. I request our delegates and dignitaries to please step forward for a photograph.
And things are changing also. Actually, Indira Gandhi ने ना recent में भाषण दिया था